So how do you know if a business idea is good? Now, I'm here to tell you, I've started many businesses. All of them have failed but one. I've had one business. Well, this business has kind of evolved. So I've had a few ideas that have been wildly successful, and I've had this business for 13 years. Through the things that I've prepared to share with you, my hope is that by the end of this video, you'll have clarity on if your business is a good idea. Now in my notes, I've kind of written down a few criteria of how I gauge whether a business is a good idea. So let me just tell you what these are, and then I'll discuss different businesses that I've done and see how they measure up to this criteria. So time spent. I want to look at how much time do I spend, how much risk do I take, customer satisfaction. How well did my business fulfill their needs or solve problems? What about profit margins? And what about scalability? How easy was it for that business to grow or otherwise? One of my first businesses in my adult life, I did many things as a kid, from selling cucumbers door to door, to selling broken toys, to putting on a museum of natural history in my garage with little models of dinosaurs. All right, but in my adult life, one of my businesses was called gyro sticks. I didn't invent this item. I've heard them called devil sticks or flip sticks. So you have two sticks in your hand and you've got a longer stick with either tassels. I put like bungee at the end and you could flip it and do tricks. So I made these things. They were very high quality, better quality than I'd seen anywhere. Most other places that I'd seen them, they had wooden dowels inside. Mine were fiberglass rods, and so it gave it more flex, kind of like a fishing rod, but solid. So I made these and I thought, okay, I've got a great product. I'm a business owner, and I created my own logo and whatnot, but I didn't really do a lot to market it. All I did was make the product. And I went to a bike store and they said I could put my product in their display case. And so I kind of sold it on consignment. Anytime that one was sold, they would let me know and they would give me the money for that. I thought that was great. But as great of an idea as that was, I think I sold like one every 6 months or something like that. The time that I spent was making them, and I still actually have quite a few that I never sold that are just sitting up in my attic. It wasn't very risky, right? So that's great. It was very low risk. I guess the people that bought them, I never heard a complaint, so they must have been satisfied. Profit margins, I didn't really understand what that was. My costs were probably 20 bucks and I sold it for $30, so I had a $10 margin there. Scalability, I had to make everything myself. I didn't sell very many, so I didn't do very well at scaling it. Okay, let me talk about another business that I did. It was called My Family Artist. Now, I knew some artists. I had a friend in college that was a very good artist, and she was doing portraits for our apartment building. So I sat still while I was watching a movie. I even remember the movie. It was Fugitive with Harrison Ford. So I just sat there still watching this movie while she did a charcoal portrait. Well, later when I started this company, I kind of hired her. I worked as her broker, and I found customers that wanted custom artwork. They would give us a photo and I would give that photo to the artist, and they would do either a pencil portrait or an oil painting. I had a whole team of artists that I created. We created some amazing artwork. And then I started to do the math. I started to figure out like how much time am I putting in? What's my profit margins? When I did the math, I learned that I was only making about $2 per hour. And with all the time that I was putting in, I just kind of had to realize, you know what, I got to move on to something else. Now, 13 years ago, I started a company. It's actually the same company, but it's gone through some name changes. The name of my company, or the name that I marketed by, was BlueJay Website Design. We offered a $500 website. It was custom designed. It was profitable. I had happy clients. I had happy customers. It was scalable. But there was something that was missing, okay? When I would design a website, or me and my team would design a website, my customers were happy. They said thank you, they received their value, no complaints. Like very, very rare, I'd say 99% were wildly satisfied. But when I visited their website and I looked at their data, their analytics, they weren't getting any visitors. The only traffic to the websites was their friend and their family. And so it really just proved to them, hey, I'm a legit business, but it wasn't doing anything for them. And that is not what I'm about. I like getting results. I like helping my clients get results. So then I said, we need traffic to this website. So I started to offer a search engine optimization service, and it worked. We got their websites ranked #1 on Google. My clients loved it. My clients were happy. And with all these new visitors to their website was not selling anything. They were not getting sales on their website. So I pivoted again and I created a video service. It's like, hey, if you put a video on your service, you can make it a promo video, you can pitch your service, give a sales presentation. That way your videos can start to make sales. So I just followed the results. That's how I pivoted my business. Well, along that journey, and now that you know that I'm the YouTube guy, how I got there, how I made that transition, all this work that I did to get these pages ranked #1 on Google, there were probably like 30 different steps that we did. One of those steps was we created a how-to YouTube video. Well, that video over on YouTube was getting 50 times more views than this page ranking #1 on Google. And because I love results, I kind of pivoted. I focused on YouTube. I phased out my web design, my SEO service, and everything else. And so for the last decade, I've focused on refining this strategy, and it just works better and better. So I want to talk about my company today and talk about the service that I offer. I'm not going to give you all the details because that's not the point. The point is how I got to this point. The package that I offer is a 6-figure investment for businesses. Back when I first put this package together, I could not sell it. I could not sell it at cost, in fact, because I did not have a portfolio. I didn't have a track record of success. But I knew that the strategy would work because of these things I'd done with individual videos on YouTube. I knew, man, if we do this all in and create an entire channel with this strategy, it will work, but no one would buy it from me. So what I did, I believed in myself enough. I'd gone through enough of trial and error with a lot of other businesses and through these web design services. I'm like, you know what? I know this is going to work. So I partnered with somebody. I said, tell you what, you don't have to pay me anything right now. We're going to be a partner and we're going to share in future profits. That channel took off. It was a wild success. It started bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars. I did that with another channel. That channel was a wild success. And so then I had a portfolio. I had a track record of success, and people would come to me and say, hey, I want you to do for me what you've done for them. And I could tell them my price point, and they bought my service. Another way that you can know that your business is a good idea is by putting your content on YouTube. If you follow the strategy in this book, you're actually going to be answering people's questions. So there's people around the world that are asking questions on Google and YouTube. You're the perfect person to answer them. So the strategy in here, and by the way, I'm going to show you how to get this book for free. So you're going to be answering their questions in a way that they find you and see you as their hero, and they want to then hire you for your services. By you putting your content out on YouTube this way, you know what ideas are good and which ideas aren't. In fact, Paul Jenkins, one of my clients, he had 3 different areas. He had parenting, he had positivity, and he had relationships. We put all that content out on YouTube from all 3 different areas. Parenting is the content that really rose up. So he knew that that was the best idea, and he started creating courses around parenting, and that really started to sell well. So back to the free gift. This book is full color. It took me 2 years to produce this book, and full color, which it needed to be for me to show you everything. I found out it cost $11.15 to just print this thing. So for me to get this to you, I want you to cover that printing cost and what, the few dollars it costs to ship it to you, but no profit to me. This is my gift to you. Go to natesyoutubebook.com.